Hello, my name is Abraham Martinez from Warrior Therapeutic Services, LLC, and today we're going to be showing you guys a little bit of neck, shoulders, and some face work. I hope this helps you in your daily lives. Okay, so for the face, we want to use a moisturizing lotion. I feel like lotions are the best because they absorb quicker, and the face in general is already naturally pretty oily. So let's go ahead and apply. The way we're going to apply, we're going to start at the chin, come back this way, thumbs on the brows, and out. So chin, come back this way, thumbs on the brows, and out. Right on. And then we're going to do palms right on the forehead, coming back and out. And as we're coming out, we're doing a slight grip with the fingers and pushing tissues towards the outside. The reason we're doing this is to help the lymphatics drain a little faster, and we want to do it softly. Okay? So chin, brows out, and then palms on the forehead, thumbs on the brows, fingertips right here, right on the cheeks, and then coming out. Cool. Good. And then again, we're envisioning waves, okay? Always with the waves. We're moving water and we're moving tissue. Very important to keep the concept of waves and water. Right on. Okay, so you want to place your palms right on the forehead, and you're going to use your digits over here to do all of the detail work, okay? So we're going to start right here, right next to the nose, and we're going to push these tissues down. There we go, and out. And down and out. And you notice how I'm going from the inside towards the outside, right here, right along this zygomatic bone or the cheekbone, okay? So again, rest your palms right here on the forehead and pushing down and out. Good. Down and out. Down and out. Okay, nothing too crazy. Right on. And then we go back to our original strokes, okay? From the chin, brows, and then again, out. Right on. Okay, and now we're going to transition from these strokes here. We're going to do nice little circles. Remember, soft digits, okay? Soft digits. All of this is going to help with headaches, TMJ. Some cases would be like fibromyalgia. And then the toughest case that I've seen personally would be trigeminal neuralgia. Crazy name for face pain. And quite honestly, trigeminal neuralgia is one of the toughest things to treat because the nerve gets compressed in a whole bunch of different areas, and it's so painful sometimes that the clients themselves in flare-up just cannot be touched in that area. Okay, so see what I mean? Like the lotion absorbed quite quickly, so we're going to get just a little bit more and start applying it. Very, very good. Nice and smooth. Make your transition super smooth. Okay, cool. So now we're going to stimulate the lymphatics right around the eye. So we're going to go right on the eyebrow itself. We're going to start just inside of the eyebrow. So see how her eyebrow is right here? We're going to start just inside here. And we're going to push down. Okay, maybe like a 2 pressure on a scale of 1 to 10. And we're going to glide out with a drag, and then we're going to come back 1, 2, 3, and then glide again. Nice little strip here. 1, 2, 3, out. 1, 2, 3, out. Notice how I'm moving like a 1/4 of an inch. 2, 3, and out. all the way out. After we've done that stroke, we're going to move a little bit down closer to the eyelid. And so right here, there is a lacrimal gland, right? The gland that just pushes a bunch of water out and allows you to cry. So right in here, right on that, close to that gland. So let's start again. 1, 2, 3, and out. 1, 2, 3, and then drag out. 1, 2, 3, drag out. Nice. And so a lot of the times these nerves, they'll come, they come like right here, right? So whenever you get like the twitching sensation of the eyes, you know, and you're like super stressed, all of these muscles twitch super fast. Okay, we have a lot of facial expressions. There's a bunch of muscles here on the face, so we want to be nice and detailed and super accurate with this. Okay, so we go back again. Let's try the eyebrow again, right on the eyebrow, and again just inside, right? 1, 2, and out. Notice how I'm moving tissue. Again, circular motions are always best. Remember, we're creating waves, waves of change. Okay. Good. Very good. Okay, we're going to do the other eyebrow. Right on. See that eye twitch right there? So right here she's got some restriction. And I'm pretty sure she's feeling like a weird kind of ouchie. It's a strange kind of feeling when you start working on the eyebrows. It's surprising how much tension you hold here. You know, we're always frowning, we're always smiling, and we neglect our face so much, you know. So it's a really great practice to work on someone's face. And if you're a kiddo watching this and you want to do this to someone, you should try it on your mommy, for sure. I know my kids love massaging faces. You know, they're so good at them because they have tiny hands, so they can get into those tiny little crevices where we normally can't reach, and they're a lot more detailed. So pay attention to this. This is a really cool massage to do on your loved ones. This is incredible stuff. All right, so let's go back again. We're going to push tissue down just like I showed you, okay? Only this time what we're going to do is we're going to slightly increase the pressure. So remember, we started off like at a 2. We're going to take it up to a 3. This is 2. That's 3. And see the difference here is right in here on where my fingers are at. A little more pressure, okay? Just from the fingertips. We're still resting here. Nothing has changed here. The only thing that's going to change is the downward pressure of the fingertips, okay? So remember, relax your wrists, and then we're going to push down. This is a 2. That's the 3. Hold it there for a little bit, and then when you feel the release, glide. There it is. Super easy. Nothing crazy. All right. So did you see that tension right there? That's what we want. We want that. We definitely want that pull. We want to see where she's reacting. Okay. This is a great practice to paying attention of your person, of what they like and what they dislike. So that's obviously uncomfortable. So we want to keep it right there for her. That's about a 5 pain for her on a scale of 1 to 10. And that's where we work. We work on that fine threshold of pain. Okay, that's a 3 right there. Right on. So at the end here, when I was pushing downward, there was a slight little bump, kind of. And that's the muscular tissue that I'm pushing from way out here down this way. So that means that she's been holding tension higher here. So maybe she's probably clenching the jaw either when she sleeps or in general when she stresses out, you know. Very important to keep paying attention to her tiny reactions. Definitely pay attention to the reactions, okay? That's very important. So that's a 3 right there, and we're going to glide down. And so right there, I'm already feeling like there's like a little wave that I've created, and there's the release. See, and at the release, I'm getting a bunch of tiny little responses here, tiny responses up here, furrowing of the brow. That's letting me know that she's definitely feeling this. She's really trying her best to let go and relax, and that's what's important. Good, there we go. So there's another little bump here. Good, see that tiny response right there, very good. Boom, so it's more on this side, okay? That's where we're gonna focus on, this side. So to focus on this side, we're gonna turn their head slightly this way. And this is actually one of my favorite things to do here, is we're gonna stretch these tissues here. So we're gonna pull with one thumb up, with the other thumb, we're gonna glide down. And see, we're only gliding about an inch and a half, inch and a half, inch and a half. And we're gonna do that all around the cheek, okay? So inch and a half here, here, here. And then again, we're gonna go backwards in terms of the pressure. We're gonna stay at a 2, because we know that at a 3, she's already flinching a lot. So here's the 2 pressure. And then look at that, there's a big old bump here. So this is an area we're gonna focus on and stretch and stretch and stretch. Here we go. The more we stretch these tissues, the softer they become, and then we can push out even more fluid. Awesome, 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 awesome. Really good stuff here. Alrighty. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do some slight tapping. And the reason we do tapping is we really want to wake up this whole nervous system to just kind of start relaxing. Remember, she's had a lot of tension here, she's had tension here, and then of course right here in the jaw. So she does clench her jaw quite a bit. So let's go ahead and start the tapping. We're going to start right here at the temple. And remember, relax your wrist, okay? Relax the whole thing, your whole hand. Here we go. And just keep a nice little rhythm. Here we go. Right along the zygomatic bone here, the cheekbone, and then down to the chin. And we're basically telling the nervous system, hey, wake up. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to work on you. So this provides like a sedative kind of feeling for the client. So we really want to keep doing this quite a bit here, all along the forehead and the eye. Remember, cover the whole side of the face, okay? Show the whole thing some love. This is their money maker. So you gotta really give it some love. Awesome. All right, so let's switch over to the other side. We're gonna do the same thing here. And then notice how there's not as much tension in those areas, but there is a little more tension here. That's because everything on this opposite side is being pulled rather aggressively because of the jaw clenching and all the stress that she goes through. So what we're going to do here is focus more on this little part of the chin here. So on here, what we're going to do is we're going to open up. So I'm going to grip right in here. I'm not going to jam my fingers in, okay? Just rest them. And with my thumbs, I'm going to just slightly strip right along the chin. And we're going to do the same thing that we were doing, right, with the 1/2 inch, only we're going to do it much smaller, like 1/4 inches. So right here, right along the lips, and this part of the chin. And this is just to soften up these tissues first before we start working any higher. So right there, that's already feeling great. You know, I'm actually able to put a lot more pressure here and go a little deeper just with this slight work that I'm doing here. And let's go right along this jawline and keep doing these little 1/4 inch stretching of this tissue right here. Beautiful. Really good. Okay, and then we're going to go back to the 1/2 inch, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches, 1.5 inches. Wonderful. See, not as much tension as the other side, you know, and I'm actually going maybe about a 3 on this one in terms of pressure. And she's responding really well. So there's one right here. I feel a little more tension here. You see that little bumpity bump? So when you get one like this, slow down. You know, take your time. You're already here. Here we go. Nice and smooth. Nice and slow. Let the pressure do the work. You know, you don't have to do so much work. This is very fine detail work. So take your time with it, you know. There's so many tiny muscles here that you want to just take your time with each tiny strand that you can feel. Pay attention to what you're feeling too. If it's too bumpy, if it's really rigid, incredibly hard, you know. If they react even more and clench even more, then that's when you really need to know that that's an area you have to focus on. Cool, and then back to the chin, okay? Always come back to the area that you're focusing on. Tiny little quarter ones. Just feel it and go with it. Right there, see, there's the jawline. It's really nice and smooth. Awesome. Okay, let's go back here. Wonderful. So we've seen some slight changes already. So like before, there was a major shift this way. Now we've moved tissue this way. So we're already on a really good groove. Okay, so let's do the 1.5 inch stretches on the forehead now. So we're going to start here, right at the middle of the forehead, right at the top middle, and with this opposite thumb stripping down. 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 Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Go all the way out, you know. You want to cover the whole face. Awesome. Okay, and then switch thumbs now. Now that you're going this side, use your left hand. So support with the right here, and now we're using our left and stripping down, stripping down. Just stretch all this forehead tissue and then feel for tension, tightness. You know, since we already know that our friend here clenches her jaw quite a bit, we're going to focus also on her temples. The temples are really important to get to loosen up because they have a direct tie to this jaw. So if this jaw gets tight, then for sure here, the temporalis muscle is just going to flare up, right? So now we're going to go to the temples, right where the eyebrow ends. We're going to go just lateral to that, just to the side. Put these 2 digits right in there. So you should feel kind of a dip, okay? And that's what we're looking for, is that dip. If you don't feel the dip, move around until you get in there. So there's the dip right there. Right on. And so this is where we're going to use her help, okay? So first we're going to push on those tight little muscles that you feel. They should feel like rubber bands. Like there's a good one here, right? You feel that one, Crystal? Mm-hmm. Okay. Right there. So we're going to hold pressure here. Again, about a 2. We want to stay at a 2. Don't go past that. We already know that her limit is 3, so we don't go past that. And we always work on that threshold. Remember that. Perfect. Right there. That's good. Awesome. And then we're going back. So we started here and we're going backwards. Keep in mind that this muscle right here is in the shape of a football and it reaches all the way back to the head. So you got a lot of work to do, okay? So take your time. Very good. Okay, now this is the fun part. This is where we're going to get to have them help you with the work. So we're going to push inward here, hold pressure, and then we're going to ask them, go ahead and open your jaw nice and wide, like if you're eating a big hamburger. Nice and slow. Keep going. Go, 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 go. There you go. Hold it there. 1, 2, 3, and then nice and slow, start to close. And clench your teeth. Good. And then as they're clenching, you should feel like a little bump right underneath your finger. So hold that. 1, 2, 3, and relax. And then as they relax, you relax. Boom. Right on. So that's your first release. And we're going to go back to those areas where you felt tension. So we started here. Now we're going to go a little bit of a quarter inch back. Hold pressure again. And then nice and slow, my friend. Go ahead and open your jaw, hamburger wide. Yes. All right. So we saw the brows furrow. There's some tension here. Right on. Hold there. 1, 2, 3. And then come back. Nice and slow. Good. And clench. There's the bumps right there. 1, 2, 3. Relax. And you relax. There we go. And see, as you relax, you see how much more tension is released now. So we're noticing several things. For sure, there's jaw tension, right? Obviously, because that's what we're working on. There's tension here on the temporalis muscle, and that muscle, or all of this tension, is causing her eyebrows to come in this way. So now we're going to focus right in here, right in the middle of the eyebrows, exactly where her eyebrows furrowed like this. We're going to go into these lines right here. Directly on those lines, you're going to go with your knuckle. I like doing the middle finger just because it's the middle finger. Just kidding. I like doing the middle finger because it's a really easy extension and I can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip with this knuckle right here. We're going to strip out this way. Okay, nice and easy. Don't jam it in there like you're going to destroy their forehead, okay? Nice and easy. Watch me. Just like that. About a 1/2 inch, right? So what this is doing is this is smoothing out this frown line, okay? We want to do this because this is obviously an area where there's quite a bit of tension. And so what we're doing is we're retraining this tissue to accept this load and to smooth out. There we go. And then up, straight up. There we go. And then again, out. And out. Cool. Now let's do the other side. Same. Let's go out this way. Remember, 1/2 inch. Don't go crazy. And nice and easy. We want to stay maybe like a 1 or 2 on this one. Just the weight of your hand is more than enough. Very good. Remember, tiny little waves. Okay? Little ripples. They create big waves of change. There we go. So now that we've done all this crazy work on her, let's go ahead and smooth it out. We'll get a little more lotion. And then we're going to just smooth it out. And go back to these strokes, okay? Nice and easy strokes. Take your time. There's no rush, especially with the face, you know. It shows that you care quite a bit. You're working on somebody's face. I mean, it's what people see every day, you know. And then maybe you don't take the time to really appreciate somebody's features until you really get in there and start working into their zygomatic bone and start pushing tissue down, and you see how striking their features are. You really pay attention to them. Okay, so let's go ahead and now we're going to do some kneading. We're going to start at the chin, and we're just going to knead. You're going to knead with all the digits though, okay? The thumb is the guide, but really we're going to go all here, right along the jawbone, okay? So trade off. 1, 2, 1, 2. As you get good, you can speed this up. But for now, just watch me and do it smooth. Smooth is fast, okay? Remember, every transition has to be smooth. Smooth is fast. Fast is efficient. There we go. And we're working towards becoming more efficient at this. So that way you have more time to do other things. But for now, we're slowing down. We're taking it really, really easy. And again, come back to the chin. This is all lymphatic drainage. We're draining all these lymphs from down here, all these lymph nodes. We're pushing them back and down, okay? Good. Okay, now let's give them a nice little once-over massage. Pressure of 1 on a scale of 1 to 10. And And we're just going to go to town on the whole face here. Nice and easy. Get them to relax after we put them through all that. Pushed on their jaws and whatnot. Just go ahead and get in there. Love these tissues. Make them feel welcome. Make them feel nice and cozy. Make them relax. This is a really, really good starting point to relax. And now one of my favorite things to do is skin rolling. Oh man, I love skin rolling. This stuff is awesome. It smooths everything out after you've done all the work. So we're going to start in this same area and we're just going to slightly pinch. And then what we're going to do is gather tissue with these fingers while at the same time we're using the thumb as like a rolling pin, like tortillas. We're making tortillas with faces. Cool? Here we go. Let's do the tortilla face. And grip and strip and grip and strip. Not crazy hard. Remember, pressure of 1. Skin rolling is just to smooth out the tissues after we've done such aggressive work to them. And yes, believe it or not, it is aggressive work even though it's on a 2 pressure. It's still pretty aggressive. I mean, when do you really let somebody touch your face, right? There we go. So strip and roll, strip and roll. Gather the tissue again with your fingertips. Excelente. Very good. Nice and relaxed. Awesome. Okay, now that you've done all this, we want to clean up all of this mess that we made. So let's go ahead and grab ourselves a nice steam towel. There you go. All right. Several ways to make a steam towel. You can either have a hot towel cabinet like I do because I'm awesome and I invested, or you can just microwave it after you've dampened it, right? Now you want to do a skin check. Don't just be throwing hot towels on people's faces, okay? Not cool. Okay, so this is the skin check. Flatten it out and then put it up against your forearm. If it's good there and you can stand it, chances are they can too. If you can't, they can't, okay? So here's how we're going to do it. This is how I like to do it. So I like to hold it from both ends and then just kind of drape it along their forehead. That heat okay? Yeah. Perfect. And then cover their nose, just the top of the nose. And then we're going to fold these 2 ends. One in here, one over here. And these little flaps here you could just tuck in like that. Awesome. See how there's a nice little triangle here for them to breathe? That's what you want. You want them to breathe. If you have an essential oil, this is a great time to use it. I prefer peppermint. One of the biggest reasons I prefer peppermint when I'm doing face stuff is because if I have to do face stuff, chances are this person usually gets headaches already. And peppermint is a great deterrent for headaches. Boom, in your face. This is good stuff. Okay. Go ahead and take 3 nice deep breaths. We're going to just hold it just over the top. Take 3 deep breaths here. Good. Nice, very good. Okay, and then after that 3rd one, what we're going to do is we're going to use this towel and just clean up all of that lotion we put on there. This way, if you have like a cold moisturizing lotion or a moisturizer for the face, that's when you can use it. So this is just the work stuff, you know. I'm sure the ladies know what I'm talking about when you have your own personal moisturizing creams just for your face. So after you clean all this gunk off that you've put on there, that's when you can go to town on the moisturizing. Awesome. Here we go. Very good. How's that feel?
Good.
Good? Awesome. Let's do some neck work now. Okay, on this one, I would prefer that you guys use oils. Oils are just a very versatile lubricant. Not only that, it's going to allow you to glide much easier. So you don't have to put too much, you know, but nice and shiny, that's what you want. So our first application, we're just going to go straight underneath and drag upwards into the neck. And then the next part is get in the shoulders. All right. Now I want to show you a really cool glide technique. This is one of the first ones I learned in massage school. And I just love it. It's just super relaxing. So we're going to start here where the clavicle is at. Thumbs like right on the clavicle. Push out. So see how it kind of goes through the chest. Push out. Tuck your hands underneath. You're not gripping. You're relaxing. Relaxing the fingers, and then you're dragging them up. Up all the way into the base of the skull. Let's do that again. So right here on the clavicle, a little bit on the chest, come around, relax the fingers, don't grip. There we go. And then we're pulling back into the base of the skull. Waves. Imagine waves crashing right here, right in the back of the skull. This is where the waves crash. They start here, and then they end up here. I know you know what I'm talking about. You saw that in your brain. Don't lie. There it is. All right, now we're going to grip. The easy way to grip is with your thumbs and then with your bottom 4 digits, okay? Thumbs first, because it's going to allow you to gauge how much pressure you're putting. The thumb is a great guide for pressure. And then back here, these guys just kind of respond to the thumb, okay? That's what separates us from all the animals, is that we have opposable thumbs. There we go. Nice and easy. Again, we're at a 2. We want to stay at a 2 for now until we start putting pressure. And that's when we're going to use the thumb a lot. So let's go ahead and do some nice little grips here, all on the traps. And then we're going to scoop tissue from way down here. And then we're going to glide upwards towards the base of the skull. Awesome. All right, now that we've had our application, we're going to turn to one side. Which side do you want first? This side's cool? All right. We're going to turn to the side, and then this is where we're going to work first, okay? You want to keep the neck heavily lubricated because you don't want too much drag on your fingers. Too much drag is too much pressure on the skin, and this is a very sensitive area. So if your person gets headaches quite a bit, you definitely want to get in there with the oil, okay? All right. We're going to do light grips first, right on the neck, okay? Light grips, okay? We're talking about a 1 on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of pressure. Light grips all along the neck, see? I'm going all the way to the base of the skull and then back down to the traps. And then I'm doing circles still. Always circles. You know, I'm a big fan of the circles because I love waves. Cool. And now we're going to strip with the thumb. Again, just the 1 pressure. We're going to start back here, right where the base of the skull ends, right here, this tiny little tip. And we're going to push down, push tissue down towards the shoulders. 2. So I'll do 1, 2 in every 1/4 inch. 2, move up again. 1, 2, and then right here, right underneath the earlobe, the vagus nerve comes out of here and then spiders down into the heart, lungs, and stomach. So we definitely want to not go heavy, but we want to stimulate this area for sure, okay? I love to get the hair out of the way. Anytime there's hair in your way like that, push it back up, okay? That way you're not getting all jammed up in there. Okay, there we go. All the way up to about right here, okay? Right where the SCM is, or sternocleidomastoid. The reason it's called that is because it goes here on the sternum, here on the clavicle, and then way up here. Sternocleidomastoid, right here on the mastoid process, right? Here we go. SCM for short. And then we go back, all the way back. Remember, on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of pressure, we're still at a 1. All right. So now that we've done that, we've gotten her used to, her tissues just used to our pressure. We're going to start to put direct pressure on the back of the skull. So if you want to turn their head just a little more right there, and you'll notice like if they have restriction and stuff. If they do have restriction, then just dial it back, just a little bit. But I want to show you where I'm going to put my thumb first. So we're going to start here, and then we're going to work all the way down to about here, right in here, right where the trap ends, right here. So let's start here, and we're going to push tissue out this way, okay? Always out this way, never back. Here we go. So right here, I am at about a 2. Okay, that's a 2. This is 3, and that's already like kind of ouchy for her. You want to notice here, right on the corner of the eye, this is what's going to let you know if you're going too hardcore. Okay, it will start to kind of scrunch up. Okay, and that's when you're like, okay, we need to back it up. So pay attention to that area. So right there, that was a tiny scrunch, so we're going to dial it back about 1. And then we're just going to hold. See how I'm holding with this opposite hand here? This is also to put pressure backwards on my thumb. Okay, so we're using both hands right here. So I'm going to sustain pressure here for a little bit, and what I'm really driving here is fluid. My focus is on driving fluid out. Fluid to me right here in this area means inflammation. Inflammation is no bueno. It does restrict a lot of movement. And not only that, it will be painful in those areas, okay? So keep that in mind as well. If there's inflammation, if it's hardened tissue, it's not soft like my friend's is here. If it's hard, chances are your person is getting dry, itchy eyes, headaches, clenching of the jaw, excessive stress, you know what I mean? And that is just no good for them. So, very lucky to have you. All right, so that's good pressure right there. And again, we're just driving fluid out. Pushing, 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 pushing. Awesome. And see, there's no effort in what I'm doing. So don't force it. You never want to force this stuff. So look, now we're right here, right on the muscle. You can feel the bone coming in this way. So that's too far in. You want to be just outside of that bone, and that's muscular tissue. Good. Now we're pushing fluid. See? When we're pushing intentionally like this, we're just pushing fluid. Later on, I'll show you some other techniques. But right now what we're doing is we're just driving fluid out. So focus on the fluid that's there. Look, there we go. No effort at all. I'm doing the pushing, okay, on this one. I'm the one driving the fluid out. I'm clearing space for all the work that's to come. And that's what we want to do. We want to clear up space. That's why we clear out fluid first before we can work directly on these muscular tissues. Let's go ahead and do that again one more time, okay? We're just driving fluid out. Perfect. Really good. Nice. I love it. There we go. So there's the end of the trap right there, and that's already flexing on us. Cool. All right, now we're going to increase the pressure. Now that we've driven out some fluid there, we should be able to get deeper. Look at that. That's a good one right there. I already feel she's got a nice little trigger point developing here. So on these, we really want to look for those hardened tissues. Now that you've driven some fluid out, you'll feel them. It's a big difference, you know. So this tissue right here is very different from, let's say, this tissue right here. It's much softer, you know, more malleable. This one's nice and hard, and it's ready to get some loving. So on this one, what we're going to do is we're going to push upwards, like if we're pushing up this way into her brain. So we're going to scoop this tissue up into the brain, and then with this opposite hand, we're going to give it more pressure. There we go. And we're just going to hold it here. Why are we holding it? Because we're forcing a whole bunch of fluid, blood and lymph to this area as we're holding. There we go. And then here comes a release. So on this one, I'm not driving any fluid and I'm not doing any pushing other than sustaining that pressure. Her muscular tissue is softening up under me. She's the one doing the work. Her body's doing the work. She's the one making her water flow. There we go. See? And then look at the big release we're going to get. It should be like a bump. Bloop. See? That's the reaction we want to get. That was her own tissues doing all the work. So now we're going to scoop more tissue up, and then we're going to go just slightly lower. So we started up here. Now we're about another half an inch down. And so again, we're sustaining that pressure, and then we're driving the skull a little back, giving it a little more weight. And we're just using the weight of her head, the weight of her neck, against our thumb. And this is how we save our thumbs. It's very important. Look, there's the release already. I didn't have to do nothing. The body's doing all the work. You need to let the client come to you. There we go. So just wait, you know, have the patience to wait. You're not doing all the driving anymore. You've already driven the fluid out. Now you got to let them come to you. Good. So another half inch lower. And now I'm sustaining. And then again, pushing skull back. I'm opening up those facet joints. I'm opening up those vertebrae a little more. Here we go. Here we go. It's going to release. Beautiful. See how I'm driving this head back a little more? Boom. Super easy. Super easy. Don't overthink this. Don't ever overthink this, okay? There it is. Okay, we're getting a reaction from this shoulder. So we want to back off a little bit. So what I did there was I just removed the pressure from the head. Beautiful. Big release there. Really good. You notice how that shoulder wanted to come up? That's a very normal reaction, you know. That also suggests that these scalenes, these muscles right here, 1, 2, and 3, those guys are overactive. So for sure she does clench her jaw quite a bit. Okay, so now let's go a little bit lower, and then now we're like right at the base of the neck. Right there. And then I'm driving just a little bit back, holding. There's the response right there. We're just holding in that threshold. She's at a 5 pain on a scale of 1 to 10. And then look, that's releasing on its own. It should be a big release too. Boom. Awesome. Wonderful. How do you feel? Good? Okay. Now those muscles that we were just talking about, the scalenes, those are the ones we're going to go for next. I really want you to be careful on these areas. Pay very close attention to the pressure that you're going to be putting on. And more importantly, the location, okay? This is our guide. So we're going to move her head slightly this way. You see that pop up? That's the sternocleidomastoid. So we're going to go 1 here, and then right where this really nice little vein is at, we want to go just off to the side of that. That's the first one. So that's 1. This is 2. And then 3 is going to be back here. Okay? When you push here, several things can happen. If this person has a lot of headaches, this may travel up. The sensation of kind of a painful sensation may travel up. For everyone else, you know, especially if they're experiencing shoulder pain, more than likely when you push here, it will go down the arm, sometimes even to the forearm and fingertips, okay? Keep this in mind and pay attention to their facial reactions, their expressions. If it's too much, back it off. It's okay. Remember, we're taking our time. So again, the SCM, right here, we're looking at this nice little vein right there. We're just off to the side of that. That's where we're going to put our finger. So here we go. Nice and easy. That's a 1. That's a 2. Boom. See that reaction right there. We're going to step back just a little bit. We're at a 2. We're going to stay right there. Do you feel any sensation going down your arm or shoulder?
No.
Okay, cool. So there's the release right there. Same type of pressure, just consistent. Boom, nice release. And then we're going to go just lateral to that, just off to the side. And then that's the scaling number 2, the middle scaling. Right there, that's a 2. Nothing going down the arm?
No.
Cool. Good. All right, and then back here on number 3, this guy should go down the shoulder blade. Actually, not really down the arm, but down the shoulder blade. Here we go. Pushing down here. Ooh, there we go. Back it off. You feel that one going down the shoulder blade? Or no?
No.
Just there. Okay, cool. There's the release. Nice and easy. See that? We didn't force anything. Okay, and then give her some love. Always give them the love, you know. Come back, give them the little circle love. Okay, we just did a whole bunch of work in this area, so we want to show it some love afterwards, saying, hey, it's going to be okay. We just beat up your neck a little bit, but you're going to be fine. Beautiful. All right, and I want you to do the same thing on the other side. All right, now we're going to move on to the back of the neck. Guys, I want to tell you, if you perform this part well, man, they're going to love you. Trust me, okay? This back part of the neck is where everybody feels the most relief because we hold so much tension, specifically back here and this suboccipital ridge here. What the suboccipitals do that most people don't know is that they're in charge of eye movement. Woo, crazy, right? And when you get dry or itchy eyes, a lot of the times it's because you're too constricted back here. And the way you can tell is if somebody has a scrunched neck back here and this area is super thick, like really thick, you know. I don't know if you have an uncle or a dad with the weenie pack back here, but if you do, that guy needs some of this TLC, okay? So let's go ahead and knead first. We want to put a nice bunch of oil back here. And what we're going to do, our focus is going to be the suboccipitals, okay? That's where we're going to start and that's where we're going to end. Those tiny little muscles that are in charge of eye movement. It's crazy to think that muscles in the back of your head are in charge of eye movement, but honestly, man, if you think about it, you know, how often do you not cran your head forward, you know, and you feel the pressure way back in the back of your head? When you're trying to stretch it out, you always feel this weird and annoying pressure back there, and your eyes even hurt. All right, so here's what we're going to do. With your thumb, I'd like you to come around this way, so that way you're kind of facing, what's it called? You're facing exactly like your person. You're facing that way, okay? And what you're going to do with your thumb, you're going to put pressure directly on the suboccipitals, but you're going to scoop tissue into those suboccipitals. So start here, scoop tissue up, and then that scoop, that's what you're going to hold. Now the tricky part is finding this tiny little sliver in between the pad of your thumb. This is where you're going to feel it, right in this tiny little protrusion of the thumb. That's where you should feel. It's kind of a dip, and it's where a bunch of muscles kind of just innervate in that same area. But if you can get in that tiny dip, oh my God, it feels like heaven. The whole sensation travels up into the head. You get chills everywhere, and it feels like an amazing, ridiculously amazing release. So when you're there, if you find it, once you're there, it's like a little shoop. You know, that's the best way I can put it. Just a little shoop. And when you're in there, you can rock your thumb back and forth, nice and smooth. And we're talking about like millimeters of movement, okay? Like tiny, tiny movements. You're not going to go crazy on this. You're going to go tiny, tiny movements. Look at my thumb. It's barely moving, but it's moving. And so this rocking sensation is going to sedate your person. And then more importantly, it's going to let your thumb sink in deeper. Because now these muscles they're relaxing underneath your thumb, underneath that pressure. Okay, so when you feel that and you feel like you've gotten deep, I want you to scoop more tissue into that suboccipital again. So here we go. We're going to go back, scoop, and in that same little swoop, that's where you want to be. There it is. See, I got that sucker. And now I'm rocking. I'm rocking. Try not to lose it. It's like surfing. Once you find it, man, you're going to ride this little sucker up until it just releases. So there comes a release. There's the first one right here. There it is, okay? And then hold that pressure. And you want to go all the way out. And then the same into that mastoid process, right? This tiny little protrusion. That's your stopping point right here. Right here is the stopping point, okay? Right where the vagus nerve innervates, when it starts coming down. If you go any further than that, you're going to cause some pain, okay? So remember to dial it back once you get to about right there. And then again, let's go ahead and scoop some more tissue up. This time it should be easier. Not only easier, but you should also feel your thumb go in a little more. And so now it's going to cost you a little more effort to find that little dip, or that shroomp, as I like to call it. That's it right there. See, I'm right in it now. I'm right in that wave. I'm rocking back and forth. I'm loving these tissues. This is awesome. See, it's allowing me to go deeper now. And so I'm scooping again. Only this time, see, I didn't have to scoop so much because right away there was a reaction where it was like, hey, come back, come back. Give me some more of that love, man. So right there. Trust me, when you're back here, you're going to feel it. It is a very, very different type of feeling right in the pad of that thumb. It's like a tiny little, man, I don't know how else to put it other than kind of like a dip feeling, you know? Once you get it, man, just flex on that sucker. Get in there. Rock your thumb back and forth, you know? Make love to these little tissues. That's it right there. So now we're riding that wave of release right there. Again, all the way out to the mastoid process on the top here. Beautiful. Awesome. Now that we've done this one, we're going to do the same thing that we were doing face up. We're going to drive fluid out, okay? Out this way. So here we go again. Only this time you're going to use just the tip of the thumb, whereas before you use the whole pad. This one you want to just use the tip, because now we're being more precise, way more specific. So there's that first kind of little wave that I created. Boom. And now I'm pushing all of that tissue out. All that tissue out. And then again, there we go. See, we've already drained all this fluid, so now we're actually getting muscular tissue. And we want to work all the way to the base of the neck, right? The base of the neck holds so much tension. It's where a lot of us just carry our stress, you know? And then eventually what people refer to it as like, quote unquote, the hunchback, right? We don't want that. Get out of here. We don't want that. It's no bueno. Okay, and then we're driving back upwards into these suboccipitals here. These are the main focus. These are the star of our approach here. These guys, vámonos, right in there. Get in there. Show these tissues some love, okay? Good. And then see there, I'm in that dip. I'm in it. You got to find it. Take your time. Of course, I find it because I know exactly where it is. It's a feeling most of the time, you know. But if you can get there, when you get there, not if, when you get there, you'll see that your person is going to be reacting to it completely. They'll give you good feedback. They'll ask you, what was that? Tell them, dude, I just made love to your suboccipitals. That's all I did right there. You're welcome. Awesome. Okay, and then again, let's go ahead and strip downwards. Again, with the tip of the thumb. Not so much the pad, but rather the tip. Beautiful, all the way to the base of the neck. We want C7. That's the guy. That's the guy that holds all the tissues together, the big one, the big vertebrae. Beautiful. I want you to repeat that several times. Once you repeat that several times, you're going to get a lot of decompression in this area. But more importantly, over here, you've worked the tissues back here in the back of the skull, and you've drained a lot of fluid. You know, if they got the weenie pack, you've softened up a lot of the weenie pack, buddy. Trust me, it's going to be almost completely gone by the time you're done. So the more that you do this, the more repetitive that it is. The more repetitions that you do, the easier it's going to be for you to find your little saddle, you know, that you're getting into. That's what I wanted to call it, a saddle, this whole time. Calling it a shump, this guy. So once you find your little saddle to sit in, just ride it, cowboy, you know, just get in there. Enjoy that. Enjoy that ride. Just hold it there. So what I was talking to you about is like when you're working these tissues back here, you're not only working the tissues back here and draining them with fluid, getting all the relief, you're also helping this person's eyesight get back. You know, they may have strained eyes for such a long time, and it's just because they're so used to being on their phone, on their computer for so long. Whatever work-related activity requires them to cran their head forward so much that they just can't get relief back here in the back of the neck, you know? But here you are, Captain Save-A-Saddle over here. Get in there. Awesome. All the way out to the mastoid process. Beautiful. Good. And then when you're done with your side, go ahead and get the kneading going. You know, relax the fingers, relax the hand. Let it form into the shape of your client's neck. Good. And then we want to go all the way up this time once we've drained all these suckers out. We're going to go all the way up into the suboccipitals now that we can grip them because they're so soft and mushy and delicious and full of juicy fluid now. Now the eyeballs can relax. When your person gets up from this work, they're going to see the world so much brighter. Their eyes are going to be nice and squishy. Who doesn't love squishy eyes? Seriously. I know I do. That's like the best. When you blink and then you get all the squishy sensation, you know that you're having a good day. Because now you don't have allergies. You don't have those dry, funky eyes, you know, where you're always rubbing. You don't get the, as my kids call them, the lasagnas, which are eye boogers. Awesome.